Hey gang, this is a little bit of a different video, and it's a video I've already filmed a couple of times today and yesterday because I've been trying to figure out how I wanted to set it up, because it's basically going to be a new series on my channel, and I'm going to do it once a month. I'm going to do this with you, and basically you might already know that I wanted to keep track of my spending on plants and this hobby this year, and well, hopefully for the foreseeable. And I also want to keep track of the plants that are going out and the plants that are coming in that I may not have actually bought. So basically the plants in and out and the plant stuff that I'm bringing into my home, I wanted to keep track of, because this hobby for me, I've had plants for years and years and years, and we're probably hitting a decade now that I've had plants in my home, and the amount of times I've gone through phases of feeling like I've not got enough, to feeling like I've got too many, not being sure how much money I'm spending. I have got ADHD. Spending is something that I struggle with. It's not something that everybody with ADHD struggles with, but for me, spending money is something I struggle with, just in terms of the concept of money and how amounts add up, and also just the the impulsivity of it, seeing a plant I've never seen before and wanting to buy it and just buying it without really giving it a second thought. And also just it's a dopamine hit, adding that plant to my cart online, going and having a little mooch around a garden centre. It's all a dopamine hit for me, and I don't want to say it's addictive, but it kind of is, especially when everything else in life is just feeling really tricky. Plants are one of the really stable things that just bring me so much joy, and getting new ones is something that brings me even more joy. I'm really aware that I spend probably too much money on plants. So I don't set myself a budget for plants. Me and my husband, we don't have a joint account in terms of both of our money goes into this one account. We have a joint account for bills and stuff, but we put money in there each month manually. There isn't money that automatically goes in there. So all of the money that we have left over after the bills and stuff have been paid is our money. He doesn't dictate how I spend my money. I don't dictate how he spends his money. The feeling of me spending too much money on stuff comes from me, not from him. And what my spending too much might not feel like too much to you, it might feel way too much. Money's a really tricky thing, isn't it, in that it's all dependent on how much you earn, maybe how you grew up with money, what excess money you've got available, if you're living paycheck to paycheck. Money's a really tricky subject, and it's even trickier in my opinion when you're neurodivergent and you just struggle with money like I do. So it's something that I've been mindful for a while of, and last year I wanted to track my money, and I think I got to February and stopped. We're right at the beginning of March this year, 2024, and I don't want to stop. I'm just curious. I want to know, and the point of this book isn't necessarily to shame me into stopping spending money. It might help me notice how much I'm spending and pull it in a little bit, rein it in. But I don't want it to be a punishment of, oh my god, I've spent this much money this month, I can't, this words oh my god, I spent this much money this month, I cannot spend any money on plants next month. I know my brain isn't going to work like that. If I tell myself that I can't spend any money on plants, I will spend money on plants, and chances are I just won't document it, and I won't tell you, so nobody knows. I'm cheating the system if nobody knows. But I'll still be spending money on plants, so there's no point in putting myself on a plant ban or anything. But yeah, I bought this journal. I bought something new to help me with this, and if you are a neurodivergent person, you might have seen the memes and stuff of don't buy the planner, it's not going to help, you're not going to stick with it. Or the notebook, I'm sure we're all guilty here of buying the planner or the diary or the notebook, and it's gonna be the one this time that makes everything stick. That's what this is. But it has got a very specific role, and as I said, I want this to be a series on my channel. I want to bring you along. I want to be open and honest about how much I'm spending. I want you guys to help me keep track and hold me accountable for keeping track of how much I'm spending. I've just filled out February and I brought in more plants than I thought I did in February. Like, I knew it was a pretty new plant heavy month, but writing it down, it really puts it out there. So anyway, like I said, I filmed this video a couple of times and I'd started filming it, oh, the sun's coming out. I'd started filming it in more of like a create this bullet journal with me kind of way, like where you kind of see me like cut bits out, get the letters, all that jazz. And then I was like, do you know what? I want this to be a series and I'm just going to do that every month. So I'm not going to do all of the months now. And we're going to do it together at the end of each month. And I will show you the new plants that I get, write it in, tot up the money. And at the end of the year, I will go through each month and we'll add it all up together. Is that a plan? I think that's a plan. So I've done January and February, and what I thought, because I'm starting this in March, what I thought is that I would just show you the plants that I've brought into my home in January and February and tell you about the ones that have left my home, because a couple have gone out as well. And then moving forward in future months, so at the end of March, I will I'll create the March page with you and I will write the plants down with you and I will show you them as we go, kind of thing, instead of clumping it all together like I'm going to be doing with January and February. I hope that makes sense. This is really waffly, isn't it? This is like an 8-minute introduction. So yeah, here are the new plants that I've brought into my home so far in 2024, in January and February, and also the plants that have left my home. I wanted to show you how I'd had this set up initially. So initially I'd done it like this. So that's the first 6 months of 2024 and then the second 6 months of 2024, and I've got the same for plants out. But these little columns are really cute, but they're teeny tiny, and I have massive handwriting and I can fit about, like, if I'm not trying to make my handwriting smaller, I can probably fit about 10 plants. Not even 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This February column, which I've written in, like, that's my normal size handwriting, and I've written 5 plants, and I bought a lot more plants in February. So it wasn't working. So I have created a different section. So I've got my plants in and my plants out. And here is January, plants in and plants out, and here is February, plants in, plants out. That's quite uneven, isn't it? So I am going to gather all of the plants that I brought into my home in January to show you them. I'm going to go around and get them, and then I will, or shall I just show you where they are? I'm going to take you to the plants. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so first up is a variegated Phalaenopsis orchid, which I got for £12 in Sainsbury's. And that guy is currently sat here. It had actually, the roots were all rotted, so I've taken it out of the kind of glass vessel, barky situation that it had been in, and put it into this little water vessel. And I'm just, you know, fingers crossed, hoping for the best that it will root. But the flowers are gorgeous. When they first come out, they've got a scent, which I love. I feel like a lot of the orchids, especially the Phalaenopsis that we have these days, have all been kind of bred to not have a scent. So I really love that this one does have a scent, and I think the leaves are absolutely gorgeous, and I really hope that it's happy and it will survive with me, fingers crossed. Next up on the list is a Tephro-cactus, which is on the windowsill. So here is my Tephro-cactus, Geometricus. I've wanted one of these for a really long time. And I'm so happy to have it in my collection. I got this from Hayley at Mint Plants, and yeah, I really hope that it grows and it's happy with me, and it just grows all the balls. Next up is this Cotyledon Woody Eye, which I got from Hayley at Mint Plants as well. And I just really loved the way it was like growing, and I don't know, I think February was the month of like weird succulents for me. And it is, if it focuses, hang on, can I get it to focus? There's a bloom there. It's not opened yet. It's been sat there for a little while. But yeah, I can't wait to see what that looks like. I don't feel like I've done anything particularly special to make it bloom. I haven't even repotted it since picking it up from Hayley, but yeah, I'll let you guys know as soon as it opens. I can't wait to see what they look like. So the next two on the list are the S Macrocarpa and the S Pilosus, I think. Hayley had a bog off offer on Stapeliads, and I don't actually know which one's which, but it's these two. So this one I haven't repotted yet, and this one I have. I'm not sure which way round they are. I do need to get their tags like printed off, but I'm intrigued for these. Like, I want them to bloom. I find the blooms on these plants so interesting. So I've got those two as well. I will repot that one into something similar to this. As you can probably see, I'm having a bit of a kind of display on my windowsill of weird and wonderful cacti and succulents. Also on my windowsill is this guy. This is a monkey tail cactus that I got for 14 pounds at Pilea Plant Shop in, is it Frome? I think it's Frome. So I'm super excited about these guys. They can like trail, and they're like fuzzy to touch. I've wanted one of these for such a long time, so yeah, very excited to have that guy. And the final plant is another orchid actually, which is up here. Oh. Let me just pull it out for you. Oh dear. The final plant that I got in January is this, is it the Paphiopedilum? Yeah, Paphiopedilum. Sorry, camera's not focusing. It's not got a bloom at the moment, but you can see at the top there that it will. And yeah, I got that one from the Pilea Plant Shop as well. I don't know when this button fern, what was it called? It is not a Pilea rotundifolia. I don't know when this button fern arrived in my collection. I have no idea. I feel like it might have been January. I can't remember where I got it from, so I'm just gonna tag it in here, because I'm pretty sure it is quite new. I just don't know when I got it, so tagging that one in here as well. I mean, it definitely isn't a Pilea rotundifolia, but I feel like I probably did pay $6.99 for it. So yeah, there we go. There's that one. So those were all of the plants that I got in January. I think I've remembered them all. And so the variegated orchid was £12 from Sainsbury's. The Tephro-Cactus geometricus was £50 from Mint Houseplants. The Cotyledon Woody Eye was £14 from Mint Houseplants. The two Stapeliads, they were both £14, I believe. But one of them, there was like a buy one get one free offer on for those plants, so one of those was free. The monkey tail cactus was £14 and the Paphiopedilum was £18, and they were both from Pilea Plant Shop. So that gives January a total spend on plants of £122. None of those were, did I not order any plants in January? In months coming, I will be more thorough because I'll be writing it down as I go. I bought these all in person, so as far as I'm aware, and I've not missed anybody, I didn't spend any money on shipping. I've just realised that that fern that I added in, I didn't write it down. Let me write it down now. Button fern. Just gonna put £7. And I cannot remember where I got it from. It was a garden centre somewhere, but I just can't remember. So I put that down to £7. So 172. So 72. 127. So it'll be 122 add 7 equals 129. So basically in January I spent £130 on plants, and what I've written down, from what I can remember, I've had 3 plants leave my collection in January. That includes a sedum succulent, the one with pink blooms. It was just dying. It was dying. I had the variegated version too, and I tried propagating them and they just rotted. So both of them sadly have left my collection. I am sad about it, but the way that they were growing, I don't know, the non-variegated one did bloom for me, and I do wonder if it was death blooms because it was not happy. So there was that one. And the third plant, I've literally written the name dead and big sad in brackets because, oh, my Dioscorea Borneo, which I literally got at the very end of 2023, which had been on my wish list for the whole of 2023, has died. I'm gutted. I got 2 cuttings at the end of December last year and they didn't even make it to the end of January. I'm sure it was a me problem, but yeah, very gutted about that. So hopefully I can add that one into my collection this year and keep it alive. But yeah, so those were the plants in and the plants out in January. For February, there is a whole heckin' massive list. It was a very heavy plant spending month, and I haven't totted up the cost, so I'll have to do that with a calculator because me and numbers, we don't get on. So let's go around and see the plants that I got. Okay, so in February I had that very planty day where I got an order from Grow Tropicals, and I also went to visit Tony's cacti and succulent greenhouse. I think on that day I had like 11 plants or something come into my collection, so yeah, that's why February was quite a planty month. But one of the plants was this Hoya just there. That is my Hoya erythrina. So I've got that one. I picked up this Epiphyllum too, and this Rhaphidophora. It's Rhaphidophora foraminifera, I think. I'm not sure if that's correctly pronounced. I got this really sad bulb looking thing, also from Grow Tropicals. That is the Cerathanthus spiralis, I think. I got this little guy, the Biophytum sensitivum. Really, really cute. That thing's shot out so many seeds for me already. Very cool. So those were all the ones from Grow Tropicals, I think. Then I got this one, this Sedum Joyce Tollock variegata from Tony's greenhouse. I also got this Stenocactus multicostatus from Tony's greenhouse. This one, this Aloinopsis villetii, also from Tony. I got this Dioscorea elephantypes Caldex from Tony. And there is this little bulby thing here, which is the Haemanthus hirsutus, also from Tony. Not looking like anything much, but hopefully it will turn into something exciting. I picked up this Tephrocarpus articulatus from Mint Plants on the same day. I purchased this Passiflora trifasciata from, oh, I'm falling over, from a private seller on Instagram. And I also purchased my ficus villosa, which is back in this vessel because it really didn't like the terrarium thing that I made for it. So I've put it back in here for now. That was from Michaela from Please. Ooh! Oh dear, the lid fell off. That was from Michaela at Please Send Nodes through Instagram as well. This is such bad filming, I'm so sorry, but that weird cactusy thing there, the Tasinga Brawny was part of a trade, but that came into my home in February too. This little guy here, the how do I pronounce it? Cylindropuntia imbricata was purchased from Thornbury Garden Centre, and then so was this Echeveria pulvinata, was also purchased from that garden centre. That was some really chaotic filming, I'm so sorry. They will be better. And the only plant that I have gotten rid of was a variegated jade crassula plant that I did the trade with for the Tasinga Brawny with Hayley. I was taking up some packaging supplies and just wondered if she wanted that plant because I was trying to downsize. And I ended up leaving with the plant, so didn't really downsize, but the plant I left with was much smaller than the one I left with her, so I suppose it's a little bit of a downsize. Anyway, having totted up the costs of all the plants that I brought in February, I do need to so a lot of the plants were like £17.99 or £18.99, like they all had like 99 on them, so I just rounded them up. So if it was £17.99 it became £18. So I've gone over a little bit by a couple of pennies. But the total cost was, I think if I calculated it correctly, £202.50, and that does not include the shipping costs. Actually, thinking about it, the two plants that I got from Instagram, the Passiflora trifasciata and the Ficus villosa, both of the prices I've written down here do include the shipping. So the Passiflora was £29.50 and the Ficus villosa was £18, and both of those include the shipping to me. The plants that I got from Grow Tropicals, I think that was like the first 5 plants I showed you, that doesn't include the shipping, and I think the shipping for Grow Tropicals is typically, is that like £7? I'm not completely sure, I think it's around £7. So that the total doesn't include all of the shipping. I suppose if it's just the Grow Tropicals, it's like, what, £7 more, so like £210.50. So yeah, that was a pretty heavy month in terms of spending, like, and I knew it kind of as I was going through February. I was like, I've added in, like on that one day I added in 11 plants, and then I added in more. So I knew as February was going on that it was like a planty heavy month, and as February was going on I felt more and more overwhelmed with the plants in my home. So yeah, very much aware that it was a heavy plant month, and I'm hoping that March will be less of a planty month. I have started it and there's already 4 plants on here, and I know that I have an order of a few more plants coming in. So it's only like the 7th of March or something, but I think I need to slow down a little bit and just keep in mind that at some point in March, either next week or the week after, I will be having an order with, I think, maybe 10 or 11 plants in it. So I just need to keep that in mind. I'm not putting myself on a plant ban for the rest of March. I'm keeping that in mind. I am going to the Bristol Plant Swap, which is on the I thought my book was going to fall on the floor, which is on the 16th of March. It's not this Saturday coming, it's the Saturday after. So I know I will be getting rid of some plants, so that will hopefully make me feel better. Hopefully there'll be a longer list of plants going out than there are coming in March. But yeah, okay, I think that's all I've got to share with you today. I'm excited though. I'm excited for this to be a series on this channel. I am slightly scared, but also excited to see kind of what my spending looks like in over each month. Oh, I do want to track the plant items I've purchased as well, which I have started doing in a different format. And I feel like this is working well enough for my plant purchases, so I'll just let you know what I've included so far, what I've purchased so far this year. So in January I bought this diary, which I included. It was £9.95. I bought some tape for some of the pages which was £6.99, and then I bought some yellow sticky traps for fungus gnats, which was £6.79. And then in February I bought two of the acrylic shells, which is what my cacti and succulents are sat on in the windowsills, and that was £19. I didn't include a plant. For God's sake. I went to HomeSense. I've just put HomeSense. But I think I spent about 60 quid in HomeSense on what did I buy? I bought some containers and some glasses. I bought a few different things for planty stuff. I need to be a bit more specific in writing this down. I've also put Elmwood plant pots. So I bought some plant pots from a garden centre called Elmwood, which is what made me remember the fact that I've got a plant on the balcony, which I didn't include in February. It is an outdoor plant, so does that count? It was one I was going to keep as an indoor plant. I'm just not sure if it's going to be alive for much longer, so maybe it'll be in February but also out in February. I don't know, but that's there in my head. And March so far I've purchased the IKEA stuff, which you'll have seen if you've watched my cabinet update. So yeah, I'm also keeping track of planty items, and at the end of the year I'll go through and add all of the total costs each month of everything that I bought in each month. Words. So yeah, really haphazard filming for this video. I am sorry. I filmed this video so many times and it's just not been going how I wanted it to go, and I just needed to just film it. I needed to stop trying to make it look all aesthetic and pretty. I just needed to just film. So that's that's what you've got. That's what you've got now that I've finally done it. Yeah. Let me know if you are intrigued, if you're looking forward to seeing the other episodes that will be in this series. If you're still watching at this point, please put this emoji in the comments to let me know that you enjoyed this video and that you're excited about the future ones in this series. Also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not already. Thank you so much for being here, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!